I was asleep, and I woke up, and I could feel this presence, and I looked up, and there was this shadow looking over me. So I jumped up and said, what do you want, kind of thing. I was then about probably 17, 18-year-old. So I stood up, and as I stood up, it backed away, and then it disappeared. And I went into my parents' room and said to them, I woke them up. I said, I'm not dreaming, I've woke you up, haven't I? They said, yeah. I said, right. They said, why? I said, 'cause I just got out of I suppose it's a ghost. I said, in my bedroom. And I knew a woman who used to be, not a fortune teller, but that kind of person, you know. And she reckoned that it was a bad omen. My name is Rod. My name is Rod. My name is Rod. Yeah, I was born in 22 Pinlock Road. I stayed there till I was 11. Then I moved on to Crompton Way. And I stayed there till I was 36. And then I got married to the girl who lived next door to me.
What was her name?
Valerie Christine Pearse.
Okay, do you want to talk about it? Who asked her out?
I asked her out one Saturday afternoon. It was really warm and hot, and she was playing with her son in the back garden. I just said to her, do you fancy going and having a ride up to Rivington Barn? I said, and take a little line, I'll take a ball, and I'll have a game of football with him. And that's how it all started. And ever since then we've been together.
Pound anywhere bin, £1 I mean, £1 bin, £1 bin, £1 bin. That a £1 bin, £1 bin, £1 bin, where's that to? You've 12, don't forget, it's making them rather cheap. £1 I mean, £1 bin, £1 bin. That a £1 I mean, £1 bin, £1 bin, £1 bin, all finished at a pound then. Set in, sharp and away, the pound. Yeah.
I used to go up to a place called Oaks Hall. It was a very big building, and it had been all fell in, just like the ruins left there. There was a big mansion like. And you just go around there and in the cellars and find wren's nests and robin's nests, and we just happened to, I just like nature, and that was it. And then when I was a teenager, I took a 5-year course on ornithology at the Bolton Tech, and ever since that I've always been in love with nature. And then I've always had pigeons, I've had falcons, I've had peregrines, I've had 4 sparrowhawks, 5 kestrels, a goshawk and a heavy hawk.
Everybody else marks in pubs or social clubs or whatever, you know, so... Well, when you bring your pigeons down, you have to put rubber rings on them. Special number on that rubber ring, right? That gets written down on your race entry form. When your pigeon comes home, you take the rubber ring off, put it in your clock, then you bring your clock down here, they open the clock, that rubber ring will only correspond against that pigeon's ring number.
Put the rubber ring in there, and it goes in there in that slot.
Drop it in, Joe. It's alright, we'll come back out. We'll come back out. You just put your rubber in, drop it in,
yeah, as long
push
as
that lever and it prints the time on there. And that gets locked in then. Every time you touch that, push it right down and let it up.
And the clock, it moves
that moves around one chamber. So if I press that now, instead of it being number 1 at top, number 2 would be there waiting for your second pigeon.
And it's very exciting on a Saturday morning when you're waiting for them birds coming back.
Definitely, there's not many people can boast, not many pigeon clubs can boast that they own their own. They all mark in pubs and labour clubs or whatever.
That's Fred, by the way. Well, it's a club, they're all sorts. Some are comedians, some are really straight, and have a good laugh. You know, we put the pigeons through, and have a drink. It's not a bar, although it's a pub. There's no bar on. It's not been a bar on for quite a few years now. So it's a matter of just like tea, coffee, cold drinks, crisps, just things like that, you know. So it's, I expect the only pub everybody comes out sober.
Yeah, wants a bit too much to drink.
It's a good night out, although it's only short, you know. Like when you're coming home, like you think, I want to mind in a couple more hours, you know.
What's that drinker, Bob? Drinkers on more.
All right.
We'll put them back on outside.
Second time I've been on camera this weekend. Straight. Push it through. Give it a force.
Put all the drinkers on now and then. You got one, right?
Where they going this time? Not going unless they are they?
Portland.
Oh, they're going forward on it?
Yeah, these are inland. Next week we're at Channel.
Oh, right.
With Carrington. It's a new.
Is that instead of last year?
Instead of last year, yeah.
Right.
See, the girls are nice and quiet and the cocks are fighting.
This lodge I'm going to show you now, they don't, they've stopped fishing it because they're doing it all up. There was a leak last year, they mended the leak, now they started refilling. But they're not letting anybody fish it, the simple reason of they're planting all around and they're putting proper fishing boards that you fish off and sit on, and they're completely upgrading it all. So as you can see, no fishing and no night fishing. As you can see, it's just starting to refill itself. If you just look there, you'll see a pygmy goat. Don't take it down, it's just that. Just down there. There it is. Pygmy goat. And there's two more down at the bottom, black and white. So now these behind here, they used to be all pig pens, but obviously over the years they've all faded away. There's none over there now. I was never in. I was always falling in lodges and I couldn't swim. So I just got a good iron off my dad when I got back home. But in them days you're allowed to do it. So it might be a good idea these days they brought it back because of all the what you call it out of there. They're the kids today, they're not nothing like well, we don't do anything today. They can do anything, get away with it. So I think we were brought up in the best era, between the 50s and 60s and 70s. But as a lad, I was never in. I was always out. When you get out for 7 o'clock in the morning, there's about 5 or 6 of us. Then they never used to see us till tea time, about 5, 6 o'clock. It was a much happier environment all the way around. You know, we never used to lock our doors in the morning or any time, because nobody had anything different. You're always on the poorer side, and you all had the same, so there's no reason to anybody break into anybody else's house, you know. And like your street, you knew everybody in the street, and we're like now. I lived in where I live now in Harwood Vale at Harwood. I've lived there for 31 years, and I can say I bet there's only about 4 or 5 people in the street I know, because everybody keeps themselves to themselves now. So it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, but I that's what I miss about the wife really, because there's no conversation at night time. You can speak to her and occasionally speak to you back, but it's only like the odd word. And it's like sitting on your own but having somebody next to you. I said he's not normally late, is he?
No, it's first time.
He's here now. He's here. How many birds want, Phil?
Up to now, I've got about, I'd say about 3,000, but I've got another 1,000 to pick up yet, which my brother's going picking them up, and we'll meet and try and ship them onto here. What I'll do, I'll give you a phone call and make arrangements what time we're coming next week, you know what I mean? It might be
Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, Thursday. What time can you be ready?
Well,
I mean,
I've told everybody to get down for 5.
right, sure they'll be ready for 6.
They'll be ready for 6.
Right, if I can get him here at 6, I'll get him here at 6.
Yeah.
But if not, I might have to work in.
Yeah. If we find that there's not going to be a lot of pigeons, we'll get them up there, you know, for the other races. But if you do it first and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can have a
Seal
basket of
them.
me, seal them, and just take
then
them up
put them
there,
up
and
there.
I'll just put them on from there. I don't really want to touch the birds again once they've been sealed.
You need the seal numbers
Yeah,
as well.
all I need is the 3 seal numbers, 2 off
Yeah.
the front and 1 off the top.
Yeah. And how many's going in for child?
22.
22 for
Yeah.
child. Right.
I know you're going to have per baskets, don't worry about that.
Yeah, we'll sort
you know,
that out.
yeah, sort that out. But once they're sealed, I don't want you unsealing them
Again.
unless you speak to George Hilton, which is, you know,
Yeah.
an official, and they
Yeah.
can do it that way.
Right.
Like.
And what time do they mark?
We usually get there about 7:30.
7:30.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of birds to pick up tonight. We're crisscrossing, you see. We're trying to get everybody picked up before 10 o'clock.
Right.
Because we've got then a 6-hour drive down to the coast, you know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
But we've got to meet other transporters and travel down together, you know.
Right.
Safety in numbers, innit?
Yeah.
So
Alright.
I'll just go get my
Yeah,
paperwork
yeah,
and then I'll
no.
sort it out. Yeah?
Just bang it in.
68, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 74, 74.
No problem. So we're paid up to date now, yeah?
You're up to date, just sell for it.
It's not good because you've
But
not
it's,
said
Yeah, no problem.
Not let on us at best.
Well, that's
not that I don't trust you.
no. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred.
You'll
Okay.
be up,
Here,
believe
I've got you a couple
me.
of drinks here.
All right.
I normally give them to your feet, so
No
you might
worries.
as well take them.
Thanks for sorting that out, anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, if we find there's not going to be enough birds, we'll get
Yeah.
them up to Rami.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'll do I'll get Happy to give you a ring on Thursday. See if we can get them picked up here at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
If not, we'll work them in
Yeah.
around about 6 between 7 o'clock.
yeah,
Okay.
no problem. Not a
You've
problem.
got them in his hand.
Not a problem.
Thanks very much.
Go on.
See you all.
Right, see you. Cheers, Phil.
Yeah.
See you. Thanks a lot. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I've had them come in with broken wings, broken legs, hitting wires or being hawked, or hitting vehicles on the motorways. You know, you don't know what actually happened to them. But if I know if there's no way I'm going to be able to fix it, or even take it to a vet and I mean, I got one with a broken wing and two places broken in its leg. I knew it would never fly again, and I knew I probably its leg would never be right, so majority of its life that it has left, it'd have been in pain. So then I disposed of it. I don't like doing, But that's just a case of, like I said, being cool to be kind, really. Now this bird I've got here, this is called a mealy pied. You don't get a lot of them. It's a 2-year-old. It's got its British racing ring on, which is GB, meaning Great Britain. Then you've got 08, telling you the year of the bird. And then you've got an E, that tells me it's flying in Eadley. And then it's got its normal, its own ring number, which is 42707. Last year it won 2 races. One from Swainswick and the other from Portland. Swainswick's about 140 and Portland's 210 miles. It's a young cock and it's fed two young ones this year. I only have 1 round off each bird, and they're both very similar to it. They're not taken after it's a hen is a blue, what they call a blue. It's like a blue, pastel blue with 2 black bars at the bottom on either wing. And you can see there's 1 bar here, but with it being, if it's a single coloured bird and you've got a few white flights in it, but no white on its head, they're called blue-white flighted. If you get one with white on its head, a blue one, just the same, but white on its head, that's a blue pied. Now this one's a mealy pied because it's got white on it in the mealy colour, and it also has plenty of white on its head, make it into a pied. Its outer wings, you normally have about 11. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is a perfect pigeon in itself. When they're flying, when you first let them out in the young, they'll fly everywhere, anywhere. And then you just keep your fingers crossed they're going to come back. Some do, some don't. Majority of the time you'll get them back. Maybe a day later, but they'll find a way back. Then when they've been out probably for a fortnight to 3 weeks, they'll start doing what they call kitting up. They'll all start flying as a group, as a kit. And once you've got that going, then you can start training them. They'll go away for the first week on their own. Maybe away for 2 hours and you think, oh, they've gone, lost them. But they'll be back and they'll all be back together. And that's called, when they call you see in the sky, you see a bunch of pigeons going past and they're all close together, going the same way. That's a kit, a racing kit. And that's how they start. And all through their life, as long as you race them together, they'll all come together. I don't know the reason why we're on this earth, because half of it's bad. To me, there's no proof that there is a God, and you can't say there isn't. It's I suppose it might be a nice feeling, like if there was, and you think you're going to a better place after you die. But I personally think when you die, it's like before you were born. You just don't take this. That's it. You've gone. That's my own personal feeling. I hope I'm wrong, but because if you believe you're going to a nicer place or whatever, you'll at least it could take the worry out of dying.
So is it a worry for you, the idea of dying?
Well, I think it's. I won't say a worry, because I know there's nothing you can do. If you die, you die. There's nothing you can do about it. So I mean, worrying, it's pointless, really. But like I said, people are born differently. Some are worriers, some are not. I'm about in the middle. I think about it occasionally, and but I don't upset me or get me all nervous and jittery. You know, don't do anything like that. Well, obviously you never want them to go, do you? But there's nothing you can really do when it's time for them to go. You know. So I don't even really think about that way. I just live from day to day and hope she keeps going, and you know. Come on, let's have a good bit now. Come on. One more. Here we are. One more is definitely finished then. Come on. That's it. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Let go. Let go. Let go. Go. Let go. Thank you. You take your top off now. Just sit up there. Sit up a little bit.
Somebody died?
Not yet. Birds. Not yet.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Synchronised.
Superb.
That's right, huh?
Did you expect anything less?
Well, you know, we missed a minute.
Would you like to
Say no more.
It's a very dear sport now. If you're starting up, you're talking, well, you need a loft. Now, a decent loft, you need 3 compartments. One for your, because in the winter you split your birds, your hens away from your cocks. So you got at one end of the loft you've got your hens, the other end you've got your cocks, in the middle you've got your young ones that you've raised this year. You know, then next year, when you let them out, like a lot of people pair one certain bird with another certain bird. You know, if they've got 2 good birds that's been doing well, they'll actually pair them 2 birds up. But I don't believe in that. I just open my hens with my cocks and let them pick their own mates, and I've done marvellous really.
So that's like selective breeding then when they...
That's right, yeah. But then again, you can get 2 best birds winning every season. It doesn't say they're going to breed good birds. It's luck, you know. But I think it's like you. If somebody made you have to marry her, if I say it that same way how I see they're doing it. But if you let them go, they're going for the hen that they want to be with. So everybody's happy then, you know. You don't get any fighting with cocks or nothing. You don't get any broken eggs. You know, because if a cock was in another its wrong nest box, then there'll be a right fight. So, but if everybody's happy, nobody bothers with the other ends. You know. So it's just one of those things. You have you pick which way you want to fly, which way you want to breed, and how you do it. But the main thing is when you're racing, it's all repetition, it's all timing. It's what they call the lock management. You know, you do everything at the same time, as near as damage. Nobody knows. They've all got the different ways of thinking how they do. I mean, some say they follow the sun, some say that it's the moon, some say it's motorways, some say it's they like flying down valleys. So a lot and the majority of train lines go down valleys. So some people they think they follow train tracks and then break off when they come to somewhere you've been training from or something like that. Something they recognise.
Clock times.
If you get in the middle of the pack and say you've got like 1,000 birds flying, and they're in the middle of the pack, especially young ones, they'll just fly and fly on in the middle of the pack, then realise I don't want anywhere around here, and they'll double back, and that's when you lose your race. If they don't break at the point you've trained them to break, then you'll be lucky if you get them in as winners. You know. When you race pigeons, it's not like having them as a hobby. You have to get them up. Well, they're up at the same time. You have to get them in the aviary. You have to get them, feed them, water them, clean them every day at the same time, and then they get into that routine. Because when you send them away, you know, they have to come home. They haven't got to land on the building. You want them straight onto your loft if possible, straight in, then clock them into the machine because they've been racing. So they get used to that. Otherwise, if they didn't, they'd be messing about on to having a drinking gutter when they got home and messing about with hens on the roof and things like this, you know. So they won't come in, so you've no chance of winning any races. Everything in my life's now a routine. Everything. There's plenty of wildlife. I mean, the 6 gosling just seen on the other lodge, there was a nest that they were actually bedding. So now they can move about. They've gone to the other lot because there, Dougie actually feeds them every morning. So they'll stay over on that other lodge now. But Dougie knows a lot about geese, I think, because he has them himself and he feeds them himself. So he knows what to give them, the proper food and everything, and they normally stay until they're adults and take off and away they go. So
how important is it to you, this place down here?
Very. Like with my wife, you know, she's got dementia, and it's a break. I take her to Fairwood twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and this is like a getaway for a few hours twice a week, you know. I said, and then as I'm lucky, my sons come over at weekend, and they stay all the weekend to give me a break. So if I want to do something on them weekend, I can do it. And then the sister-in-law comes over Wednesdays and Fridays in the afternoon, you know, at dinner time that she arrives, and she comes from St Anne's, but she comes by train. But she never lets me down. So as far as family, they're really supportive and everything, you know, which I really appreciate. Otherwise I'd just be able to stop in with my wife all the time, because she doesn't speak now, she doesn't feed herself, she can't do nothing. So this is like my getaway, if you will, you know. So otherwise, you know, all the things you have to do completely do for her because she can't do nothing. She feeds herself a little bit for about 10-15 minutes and then she just gives up and you have to feed her. I have to shower her, bath her, take her to the toilet, do everything because she can't do nothing. I also take her walking around near where we live just to keep her mobile because now she's had this approximately vetting about 6-7 years, maybe 8 years. So it's like a full-time job. And I've just got carers coming in the morning just to help me in the morning. I said other than that, it's like a 24-hour everyday job for me, you know. And you don't actually realise what it entails unless you're actually doing it. Like I say, I really appreciate the help I get. Come on. The word line. Come on. No. Come on. Come on. The worst, it did get worse, but the main thing that I noticed a lot, her voice was quietening down. I said, can you shout at me? She said, what for? I said, you just shout at me. And she couldn't shout. You know, she couldn't raise her voice to me. I know we never did, but when I asked her to, she couldn't raise her voice. So I thought, that's really strange. You know. So that was another thing. There were like little things like that, and then sometimes you'd see her like just flick her arm out. You know. Even in bed, I'd be lying there and I'd get a little flick on my arm. I'd jump up, what's that, you know. Then I'd just watch her, and then she'd just do the same thing again. You know. Little tiny things you start noticing, and then you start looking for them. You know, that's the weird point, because you do. You're waiting for something to happen. My life as far as better for the pigeons and like the pigeon club on Friday and like going to the pens when I get the chance to come down to the pens. That's my life now. That's the only getaway I can. I mean, we used to go on weekend trips with the evening news, you know, to Scotland for the weekend and places like that. That's all gone now. You can't go abroad anywhere because on the plane, things like this with the way she is. And yeah, my life's been cut in half.
Keep bloody going today, because I'll have to go down for a drink, won't we?
Well,
I'll get a drink.
mine his feet were doing dirt, so
Yeah.
he'd been, but like I say, even that,
Yeah.
going hit roof, his wings were up, bloody
Yeah, yeah.
hot slates. So
You got them all, Andy?
Two missing.
Two missing.
The white one.
We're talking about that. That's certain that. That
That
were
one
all.
come back.
That were all.
It literally crash landed on top of its head. It's not one tail feather.
And there's one that's went missing out at Loft 3 months since. Never, it's a yearling, never been out at Loft before. And it went missing out at Loft 3 months.
Is it where they go in it?
Well, in the very beginning, yeah, my wife did all the paperwork in the house, and I did all the manual work in the house. You know, but now it's, with me not being in that role, when I get a lot of letters coming in, you know, from solicitors or somewhere like that, and a lot of it I don't understand the way they word it, because like I said, my wife used to do it. You know, used to work computer and everything. No problem with it. But now it's I rely more obviously on my sons now if I have any difficulties.
My glasses are falling off end of my nose.
When you retire, that's when you have a bit of money because of you have a pension. And you've got a bit of money in the bank, and you can do more things. You know, and go out like that and enjoy yourself. And we should be enjoying life now, but we're not. Well, she's 62 now, and it was about, it must be 6 years or something like that, since I noticed different things that her behaviour and things like that. And like I say, when she started taking things off shelves and putting them in the basket, you know, and all this kind of thing, and things she couldn't remember, you know, like birthdays and that, so we had to write them all down. She's very incontinent now, so I know very well sometime during the night I'm going to have to be up changing her and stripping her down to the waist and washing her everything and putting her back to bed. And then sometimes it's happened too, and sometimes it's been three nights a day. So 3 times a night I should say, not a day. So then I'm getting like about 2, maybe 3 hours sleep. But I still have to get up I have to still get up at the same time because the routine starts again. You know, so on average I should say I get probably about 3 to 4 hours a night. I used to go around the reservoirs, what they call jumbles and whale and entrance reservoirs, they're near to me. I used to park up, have a 2-hour walk round, but now she's incontinent, I'm never going to make it. If she went in somebody's house and she did something on you know, it's the pads that she wore didn't hold it, and she went, I'd never go in the house again. I know it seems funny saying I'd be so ashamed, but not ashamed of Val, ashamed of what's happened.
Actually, they've had they've had a northwest, they've had a northeast, and they've had an east. And today, there were no hope at all, were there? You know, there were nothing.
The scorching heat kills them, doesn't it? They've got to get a drink. If they don't get a drink,
If they're next to a bit out there from Barcelona today, it's going to a bit. No chance.
Right, I'm ready now.
Not to hope.
Bring it on.
Come on! Come on, girl, come on, come on. That's it, to the jacket. Come on, sweetheart, come on to me. Come on, come on, girl, come on to me. Come on. Something's frightening and making him ready to go. Come on, what's the matter? Come on to me. Come on. That's it. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sweetheart. That's what should happen, but not sit on the top. There's only 30 odd pigeons come all the way up there on their own. That's what we call two-bird race. Each member can only send 2 pigeons. And that's his first one. He's got one more to come. Hopefully it'll be behind it. You done it? On. Got one to fire out with the time. 10 minutes different. What's that, 31? 4 hours 31.
When they do get dementia, you're always like in your late 60s, your 70s, you know. But she's got it quite early, and I believe I've heard that there's people got it a lot younger than her now. So it's not, the way it's going on, it's not going to be an old people's disease. It's going to be coming in midlife. Even though she's ill now, she doesn't do anything wrong. You know, like some people get violent, you know, but she doesn't. I'm not saying she will. I'm not saying she won't in later stages, but personally, I don't think she will. And like you can, if you show what to do, she'll do her best to do it if she can do it. You know.
Must drive you crazy.
Well, it does, but you can, I know it builds you up when you feel like I say, shouting at her and things like this, but it's not. You know, it's not going to do any good. So you have to count to 10 and calm yourself down, and then just take things as they come. But now it's. I just take things as they come. I don't even get wound up now. You know, I'll just speak to her and kind of show what, or I just sometimes just do it. You know, like coming downstairs, for instance, so she'd been up and down downstairs millions of times. But now, she'll come, maybe one day she'll come down, halfway down, and she'll stop. And she'll look around. And can you get her going down after that? You have to kind of get your hand behind the leg and force it, or put your foot behind the leg and force it off the step. So she has to put her foot down. You know, it's like that. It's, but as for getting worked up, there's no real point, because you know you're not going to get anywhere. Because it's not taking in what you're saying. you know. What do you mean by a right diagnosis? I didn't know anything about it, so to me it was something out of the blue. Because of how young she was, you know. And when they told us, obviously, we were flabbergasted. So that's when your mind starts looking at it from a different aspect. And what we were going to have to do and find out more about it, and also, like I said, you live with it. You have to do. There's one thing I'm never going to do, unless it's absolutely desperate and there's no way she's going into a home or anything like that. I mean, she worked with them people, must be, in the different works they've been, 20 years. And then as soon as she gets dementia, they don't want to know. Never even been round to the house. This is when you find who your friends are, when you're down. If they're not in pain, and they still seem to know you, if not by name, by, you know, when they see you, they smile and things like this, and they know you, and you know they're not in pain, I'll go along with that. But once they start suffering, and you know they're not going to get better, well, I'll go for euthanasia, because you're being cruel to be kind. Nature's a funny thing. Lots of birds, for instance, if they live in a community where there's more birds and there's one really bad, you know, they'll kill them themselves. The birds, put them out of the misery. At the moment, I don't think she's suffering, but I can't tell, because she can't tell me. If she has stomach cramp or anything like that, she can't tell you. If she's banged herself and it's hurting, she can't tell you. So I don't know.
But for the audience who are going to be watching this film, could you describe the best as you can of what type of person your wife was?
Very jovial, like centre of the bunch. We went out with a few couples and that, you know. Very friendly, do anything for anybody. Very caring person. Not a vicious bone in the body. You couldn't. I'm not saying it's because she's my wife. You couldn't meet a nicer person. First season, I won 29 prizes. Last season, 29 prizes and £340. This last season, I did 21 prizes and just short of £700.
Get too sharp if you like. 2, new bidder, 22 bid, 2 bid, 4 bid, 4 bid. That's 24 bid, 4 bid, you're out at the back. 6 bid, 26 bid, 6 bid, 6 bid, try him again for 2, he might let you have them. 26 I bid.
You get to the big races. I mean, there's one in North Africa, and that's called a $1 million race, and that's what you win. $1 million and 2 Volvo West States. So it's big business now. I mean, world record bird. What did they pay for it? The Wallace World, they paid I think it was 400,000 for one bird. Before that it was 300,000 best bird.
So how do you make the quality of the birds?
By training and it's all training and routine. You feed them at the same time, you train them at the same time, you let them out at the same time, you you call them in at the same time, and when they come from races, what you do when you're racing, you give them a little bit of feed, a light feed. So it's like you having a salad. After an hour, you feel like you're hungry again. Well, by then, they're flying home, so they know they've got food waiting for them.
Right, gentlemen, you know the reason this is the sale on the young bird sale, and this for starters, on behalf of the clubhouse, which is as per advert in the paper. And I'd like to point out that there is £100 prize for the best performance of a pigeon, put up by a pigeon in the next season with one of these youngsters.
My family made me get a care in to at least take some burden off me. But I prefer doing it myself, to be quite honest. Because I'm not waiting for anybody coming, you know. I mean, like, it could be a morning we're knocking on, and I could think, if the carers weren't coming at 7:30, 8 o'clock, we could have a couple of hours lie in, but that's non-involved. It's gone that. There's nothing like that now. Just a matter of routine now, getting up, getting the dress, and then the carers come in. Like I said, it made it a bit easier because they'll shower and that now and dress her for me. So while they're doing that, I'll go downstairs and make her breakfast and everything. I can't get over these, like, they have partners and they never get married. I don't understand the mentality. You might as well be wed as not.
What do you think getting married does? What do you think it's for?
Well, I think it gives you a bond. Like I said, I took the vows, and I'll stick to them vows. Not because I want to. Not because I just made the bonds, you know. Because that's life. I said, you know, I mean, that's what I mean about getting married. That's why I think it's more important than just being partners. Life's not come to a dead halt because of what my wife's got. It can't do, because if it did, you might as well go and shoot yourself. And I have no intention of shooting myself. So, you make the best of a bad situation, you know. And I'll put up with it as long as she's living. I don't know his name, to be quite honest. He's just one of the friends I talk to every time I come down when I'm waiting for Dougie, because he's always late.
Calling you over here. Can you hear it?
What did he say then?
I'll let him tell you.
There's nobody knows anything about them. They don't know. I mean, they haven't even really got drugs from, have they, to get it cured or anything like that. Because this one, like I said, is quite new, reasonably new, isn't it? So now we're doing the film about it. This could be fetching it to the fore, you know. Instead of like, because people say, what's wrong with your wife? Don't think anything wrong with her, you know. And I'll say, she's got dementia. Well, what's that? You know. Then you have to stand there like 10-15 minutes for them, thinking, I wish you'd go, I can get my wife in the house, you know, but you can't because you're explaining what it is, which people need to know what it is.